Federal prosecutor Rudolph Giuliani put one of his favorite laws to work again today. Armed with the racketeering statute known as RICO, he indicted Big Tony Salerno and 13 other alleged members of the Genovese crime family. Frank Grimes reports.
Included in today's indictments were Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, reputed head of the Genovese organized crime family, and two of his alleged capos, Vinny the Fish Cafaro and Giuseppe Pepe Sabato. They and the 12 others named in the indictment are charged under the federal racketeering statute with taking part in a major criminal enterprise, namely the Genovese organized crime family.
The indictment filed today alleges a broad range of illegal activities which typify a major mafia crime family's operations: bribery, labor racketeering, gambling, extortion, murder, bid rigging, control of the election of the president of one of the largest unions in America, and control over its affairs.
Giuliani is referring to the election of Roy Williams, the president of the Teamsters. The indictment alleges that the Genovese organization infiltrated Teamster locals in the New York area and extorted money from legitimate businesses by threatening them with labor problems. By controlling businesses in the concrete construction industry, Giuliani says the group virtually controlled the construction of high-rise buildings in Manhattan without the knowledge of developers and construction managers. Giuliani says that through a bid rigging scheme, the majority of concrete construction jobs done in Manhattan from 1980 to 1985 that were worth more than $2 million only went to concrete companies under the influence of the Genovese organized crime family. The S&A Concrete Company of the Bronx, owned by Nicholas Auletta, with alleged hidden ownership by Fat Tony, was named as one of those companies in the indictment, along with the Certified Concrete Company and the Transit Mix Concrete Company. Those arraigned in Manhattan federal court today pled innocent to the charges and are due back in court next week. I asked Fat Tony if he had anything to say about all this.
Yes, something to say, Tony?
Yeah, go f*** yourself. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Frank Grimes, Channel 5 News.
Federal authorities are taking concrete steps to get the mob out of the construction business here in New York. Racketeering laws allow them to seize any property ill-gotten or maintained. Pablo Guzman reports.
When a federal jury recently convicted accused Genovese crime family boss Fat Tony Salerno of racketeering, U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani and his team of untouchables did not stop with putting the Godfather's body behind bars. They went after his businesses.
The thing that I think you have to understand about organized crime is that it's not individual crime, it's corporate crime. It's, the reason they have their power is because of the money and property that they acquire. And the only way in which we're going to destroy their power is to take that money and property away from them. Just putting them in prison is not an effective remedy.
Salerno's corporation, among other areas, was in concrete. His S&A Concrete, in which murdered Gambino godfather Paul Castellano was a silent partner, is the largest concrete superstructure company in the city, responsible for much of the convention center, for example. The feds took S&A and also Certified Concrete Company, the largest ready-mix firm in Manhattan.
We've got to take their property, their businesses, their labor unions away from them and roll them back to where they used to be, which is mainly being street gangs.
Among the structures built with mob concrete, say the feds, are the Memorial Sloan Kettering residence at 67th and York, with $4.2 million worth of such stuff in it. The soaring condo at 76th and the Drive, containing $10 million of mob concrete. And the classy edifice at 575 5th and 47th, built with $13.7 million worth of tainted concrete. And that bastion of fashionable East Side high-rise living, Trump Plaza on 3rd Avenue between 62nd and 61st. Built, according to the government, with over $7.8 million worth of mob concrete. I'm Pablo Guzman, Fox News, Channel 5.
Governor Cuomo and Mayor Koch want the construction industry to just say no to the mob. This is not easy, since a lot of builders know the mob can smooth things out for them. And fewer delays means getting things done on time and at a profit. And not dealing with the mob at all might mean nothing gets built at all. Pablo Guzman reports.
The construction industry in New York has been riddled with organized crime for over 55 years. Today, a gaggle of names from politics and law enforcement gathered around Ron Goldstock, head of the state's organized crime task force, as he released a 130-page report on corruption and racketeering in the New York construction industry. That the mafia has a chokehold on construction in New York comes as no surprise. What is disturbing about the report, say officials, is that it shows too many businessmen accept the mob in the construction industry as a kind of governing or rationalizing body that helps set prices and maintain labor peace.
As long as businessmen say we want to do business,
you won't be able to solve the problem. There is a better way to manage the order of the work site than to having a guy in alligator shoes, you know, who takes one look at the laborer and the guy gets the message.
The mob, Cosa Nostra families, brings to the industry the stability and the predictability that those within it need.
The mob ensures its control of the construction industry through both unions and secret ownership of companies. According to the report, concrete contracts up to $2 million mean a 1% kickback to the Colombo crime family, headed by Carmine the Snake Persico. Concrete jobs worth $2 to $15 million generate a 2% kickback to the Mafia Commission, made up of the heads of the 5 families. Persico for the Colombos, Fat Tony Salerno for the Genoveses, Philip Rastelli shown allegedly faking chest pains during a trial for the Bonanos, Tony Dux Corallo for the Luccheses, and law enforcement says John Gotti for the Gambitos, the largest Cosa Nostra group. Contracts worth more than $15 million go to S&A Concrete, until recently owned secretly by Tony Salerno, head of the Genovese crime family, and Paul Castellano, murdered boss of the Gambinos. Last week, S&A was taken over by the feds.
You're not seeing affordable housing for people who are going to have to pay the full rent. And one of the reasons for that is the high cost of construction in this city.
This is the World Trade Center, where the governor has his offices and where we had our press conference. There's a lot of concrete in this joint. We asked Mr. Goldstock whether any of it was mob connected. He said he didn't know for sure, but if you're involved in the construction industry in New York, at some point along the line, you do business with a mob company. And right now, that's the bottom line. I'm Pablo Guzman, Fox News, Channel 5.